We got to talk Conor McGregor quickly.
I've heard of him.
You've heard of
Yes.
him, you know.
He's like the press conference king, right?
Yes, he's
must-see TV.
Yeah.
So, I think Conor has I love Conor, and he's the second star of WWE, of UFC.
Yeah, right.
When you think Conor, you start thinking WWE a little bit. Well, that's for another day. So, Conor, his argument to me, though, as important as he is to you and the UFC, I think his argument runs a little hollow about as far as you needing Conor. And I'm not saying that because you're here. I would say the same to Conor. You guys seem now to create stars. There will be more. You guys are doing now. I'm not saying he's not great. He's iconic.
He's very special.
He's special.
Yep.
But I do think he needs the UFC.
Listen, people start to, they get ahead of themselves and they start to get crazy. It's the one thing. Listen, ego is a beautiful thing in the fight business. You have to have it. But ego destroys everything. Ego destroys the best of... Guns N' Roses can't get together in the last 10 years to put out another album or tour and play. It's ego. And,
yep.
and the list goes on of friendships and businesses and rock groups that have all broken up because of ego. And it's a dangerous thing sometimes, too, though. You have to be very careful.
What's going to happen here?
There's a fine line with ego. Conor and I are very cool, and do I put up with a lot of different stuff with this guy? I do, because he's worth it, and he's different, But I'll tell you this, people always ask me, what are you going to do when Chuck Liddell retires? What are you going to do when Anderson Silva's gone? What are you going to do when GSP's gone? What are you going to do when this guy's out?
John Jones.
The list goes on and on.
And now here we are, and I'm talking to you about, we're talking about Amanda Nunes.
16 years later.
Right.
Yeah, so it's no different. Everybody was saying, what's going to happen to the NBA when Michael Jordan retires?
But it did take a dip. It took a dip. I don't think you guys will. I think you're so popular and mainstream now at this point that if you lose one or two or three, you just rattled off 10 guys that I know who they are.
If you're a fight fan, we bring you great fights.
Yeah,
I want to see. Here's the disappointment will be if Conor's whatever gets in the way of us getting him and Diaz for the third time. I really believe that night, that moment. Number 2 was your Hagler Hearns. It was iconic. The whole world was watching. I want to see the rubber match. Like, how could we not get a rubber match?
The problem, I'm going to tell you what the problem is with the rubber match is that Diaz is a 170-pounder. You know what I mean? He's a massive guy.
Yeah.
And Conor is a very talented fighter. He's very, very good. And every time he goes out there, he looks better, right? And when you talk about what's crazy about our sport, too, when you talk about the pound for pound, they don't have Conor McGregor as the pound for pound. The media does the ratings. When you talk about what the pound for pound really means, how is it not Conor McGregor? The guy was the 45-pound champion, 55-pound champion, and beat a guy at 170. That's what pound for pound really means. So,
but are you saying that it takes such a toll on him to do it that since he already was able to go up there and get it, going to do it again is just too much?
We should have never done it in the first place. That's what weight classes are for. They wanted to do it. We did it. They wanted to do it again. We did it again. They're 1-1. There's only so many of those wars you can be in your career, and it takes a lot out of you. Some guys go into wars like that, and they're never the same after it again, So
what's next?
Look at Meldrick Taylor when he fought Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
There's one for you.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
we know that
he was never the same after that fight. And we've had those type of fights, too. I believe that Rory McDonald was never the same after the Robbie Lawler fight. That fight ruined him. So, I don't want to do that to someone special like Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? It's just not right.